Hello, welcome to our blockchain tutorial. So we have already created a business network and created a model file, modified it for our safe school demo. Now today we will create a smart contract using JavaScript. So in a smart contract will add the functionality, how the issue will be created. As I have already mentioned, so that is our flow, like user will create an issue and that issue can be created anonymously, like without disclosing user's details, username, or user have an option to disclose his or her name. So if it is reported anonymously, then it will create an anonymous issue. So we'll have a user or participant called anonymous user, and that issue will be tagged to that user. A sample test user will be created anonymous issue in a as a participant in your business network. But if the user wants to disclose his or her name, then the issue will be tagged to that user. So and the event will be created. In an event, the related records will be shown. So for our safe school demo, we'll cover that part only in our smart contract. The creation of issue, dynamic creation of issue, and uh, publishing the related record in the events. So as we had added a priority in our uh, transaction, yes, here that integer priority we had added. So we'll add that priority and integer attribute called priority in issue also. So that is in model. I have modified that model, and now we'll go for JavaScript, the smart contract. We have updated the code in our uploaded the code in our GitHub repository also. I will give you the link. So we're starting with it asynchronous function called sample transaction, and sample transaction what are you doing, yeah, it's an asynchronous function because so that if anything got stuck in that functionality, yeah, so if anything got stuck uh, in our functionality, in our function in the middle, the program will continue. So that's why it is asynchronous. It won't hold the whole program won't be in hold for any for any user input, for pending any user input. The next program, the code will get executed. So for that, many transaction can happen in a time at a time. Many people will submit that transaction, submit multiple transaction, and it will happen. It won't get executed sequentially. That's why it is asynchronous. Now we'll go through the code. So uh, we are getting a date for to get the current date or time, to get the time, actually exact time, uh, and we are getting the asset registry. From that asset register we are getting the um, issue registry. So all that APIs are listed. I will give you the link from where you can get all those APIs to get asset or get participants. So in our issue, so through transaction user input we will get the details, we'll get the reported by, but we need to create the issue. We have to come up with a unique user issue ID, and so we have to get a mechanism to get that issue ID, and we need a timestamp also. So the current time what we got, from there we are converting it to stream, and the priority also will be also specified by the user, so we will get the priority. Now here how I will get the issue ID. So for now what we are doing is we are appending a construct stream ISS, and then we are getting the list of issues right now we have, and then adding +1 to increase it. So that's how we'll have a issue, the number of issue already created and appended by one appended to it. So that's how we are creating an issue ID. But we can come up with a more unique, more ID. For now we are trying with that. So it's a testing for testing purpose we are trying with that kind of issue ID. Now we have to create the issue, and that get factory new resource is to create a new issue with the issue ID, specified the issue ID, the class, exact class, and the base class, the org.example.basic, and then we are adding those attributes as I've shown before, the required attributes to issue, and then we are through asset registry we are adding that issue to asset registry. Now the transaction part is over. Now we have to emit an event for that transaction, and that will be the record that will be published to every user. So now we'll create that event, create issue, that is the issue event that was specified in our model. That event is anonymous, we'll get it from the transaction, is anonymous. Then the issue created will point it to the issue, the issue ID, the issue asset ID will get, and then total issues will get the list and +1, and issue details will get from the transaction details. If it is not anonymous, then you will get the reported by from the transaction. But if it is anonymous, then we'll assign it to we'll publish it with the name of anonymous user. So we have to create an user with that ID, ANMS, like participant. We have to create a participant with that ID, and that event will be tagged to that participant, that anonymous user. And then again we have event asset, that is the create event. Now we'll deploy it. Now we'll test that transaction. We'll test that smart contract. So we'll create new participants for testing. So we'll create some participants, some users, some group. So we are first creating a group. let it be like we'll create a group for stuff. So we'll give a group name, group ID. So group ID is stuff, and group name we'll give it as okay. So later group ID should be STF, and group name is STFF stuff. Okay. So we are creating a group. Now we'll click on new participant again. Okay, we'll create another group for safety team. So safety team, so group ID we can give it ST, and then yes, we're giving the safety team group name. Okay, and create new. So we have created two groups, staff and safety team. Now we'll create a user, a participant, sample participant, and that can belong to a group. So participant ID, yeah, let it be S001, and give some test sample name or test name. We are doing it for just for testing our smart contract. If everything is fine, later on we can again try the whole thing, the whole functionality with after giving the proper group access, the ACL, configuring the ACL, and creating some ID, like for issuing some ID to relate to the users. So that we can I will show you after everything is done. But for now we are testing that smart contract. So first name is stuff, and last name we can give it anything. Let it be test. We are just for tester. Okay, and now we have to give a owning group, like we have to assign to a group. So it's assigning to the staff group, STF, that is the group ID. Now it's done. So we have a participant, we have a team, two team, one is safety team and one is for staff. Okay, now we'll submit a transaction. So details, we'll specify some details. Crack in wall, yeah, that can be a fatal problem. Yeah, so later we give fatal crack in wall, so it can be a serious problem. So is anonymous, true, let it be true. Priority 1, that's a very serious problem, that's why priority is 1. I forgot to show you, we have created another user called anonymous with the ID ANMS belonging to safety team group. Oh yeah, so now participant is S001.
Show the transaction record.
Now transaction is successful.
So everything will be recorded there, that reported by transaction ID, priority true, is anonymous, everything should be recorded here, and then event will be emitted, event will be published, and even also the attributes we have we wanted to publish the records, that the details, that everything will be published here. Now in event we can see there is some repeated information like issue. It is reported against issue created. It is and again as asset it is created like issue ID, the issue details. And yeah, sample participant is anonymous here because is anonymous is true. timestamp is also exact timestamp is recorded. Now we can remove that repetitive information in the event, and also there's some information like details. What is our future plan is the plan is to show only the event details to the all the users in the network, all the, but the transaction data um, should be secured one, and it should be with the issue team and with that the user who have raised that issue. So we can modify some in our code or in our model. To do that, we can just remove some of the attributes in the event, and accordingly we can modify our javascript, the smart contract. So we'll go to define and model file. We'll remove some repetitive attributes from the issue, from the event. So yeah, so we already in the sample event we have the sample asset, and the create issue is extending actually the sample event. So we don't need that additional issue attributes there, because anyways asset is also pointing to issue, so we can just remove that issue. Now we don't want, also we want to show don't want to show the issue details, so we can remove it. Only user can get the issue id and the total issues and reported by. So reported by it, of course, if it is anonymous it will be anonymous. If user wants to disclose his or her identity, then it will be the exact username. Now we can go to the javascript file, and whatever details we don't need, like the repetitive information, we can move the details. We don't need the details. So yeah, event issue created, we can remove it, and the related thing that we don't want to publish in an event, yeah, issue details, and so that's all. Like we can remove the details of the issue, the only that, and then you can deploy the changes, and now we can again test. So we have already, as I've shown, we have already created two issue here. I have previously created one issue, and then issue 1 was created just now for demo. Yeah, fatal correct in the wall. We have the timestamp and everything, priority. So everything. Now we'll create another issue. So what will be the issue? Uh, CCTV not working. Okay, and anonymous, all it will be false. Priority is 0, and means yeah, it's not that top priority. And the participant, again we are participant, we are tagging S00 STS. And it's created. The CCTV not working, and the participant is right now is a the whole ST means the whole safety team. So right now it's reported by as a group. So this in the event, okay. So everything is yeah, total issues.
reported by. The issue ID is ISS21. That's it. What is created, the event ID, and the participant reported by is the ST. ST is that SF team, the whole group. So even whole group can report an issue. Thank you for watching our tutorial. Please give us a feedback and like and subscribe if you find it valuable.